Welcome to the LDS Mental Health Podcast. This is a podcast for faithful women who want healing in their relationships, guidance from God, and internal peace. Each week, you'll hear mental health concepts taught through a spiritual lens from me, a licensed clinical mental health counselor, to help you start thinking in a higher and holier way. Welcome. On this episode, we will be discussing 4 foundations to stronger mental health. So this episode is really for the faithful woman who's feeling stressed, unmotivated, confused, or even emotional. And it's also for the woman who's struggling with her mental health, or maybe knows someone who's struggling with their mental health, or you know that you have the potential of struggling with your mental health in the future. So this episode is going to focus on 4 ways you can build that strong foundation to your mental health. Now, a foundation is actually a really important part of a building, if you think about it, right? A foundation not only holds up a building to bear the heavy load that it has, but a foundation also acts as a building stabilizer against that side-to-side movement, which can happen in like an earthquake or just in general with the ground shifting. So foundations are also needed to be strong enough to withstand harsh weather conditions like a storm, heavy rains, harsh winds, really that could affect the stability of the building. Now, that sounds like a pretty important part of a building, right? It helps it to have some longevity, helps it continue to exist and have good quality, right? Well, having a foundation to your mental health really isn't that different. You have to have a base to your mental health that's strong enough to bear the burdens of living in this fallen world. Your mental health needs a foundation that can withstand the heavy loads that are placed on you as a woman of faith. Your mental health needs a foundation that can withstand the shifting and changing world that's going to toss you around with all their opinions and comparisons, right? Your mental health needs a foundation that can withstand the storms of life that are inevitable and unpredictable. Without building that foundation, your mental health will not be well. Your quality of life is going to decrease, and your ability to feel joy, connection, and peace is going to diminish. Your mental health affects so many other parts of your life, like your relationships, your physical health, your spirituality, and so many other areas. So working on strengthening your foundation for your mental health will inevitably pay off in other areas of your life too. But guess what? I often see that is kind of the last priority for women until they're in crisis mode. I often see women putting off their mental health as a preventative measure because it doesn't seem like a priority when you're doing okay. But everyone needs strategies to build a strong foundation and continue to work on that foundation to make it remain strong. So that's why I'm going to spend this episode talking about 4 foundations that can strengthen your mental health so that you can have peace, joy, and connection in your relationships. Okay. Let's dive in. The first foundation to stronger mental health is learning how to have clarity in your thoughts. Now, there are so many stresses of daily life, right, that cause your brain to become cluttered, foggy, racing, or just unfocused. If you think about it, how often do you find yourself just unable to make a decision because of the confusion in your mind? How often are you not dealing with or avoiding stressors because your mind is already too overwhelmed? Do you find yourself getting tossed from one subject to the next because you can't stay focused in one area? Then you might not have a foundation of being able to use skills to create clarity in your thoughts. Without this ability to create clarity in your thoughts, then you run the risk of not being able to hear the still small voice of the Spirit. When you can create clarity in your thoughts and hear that voice of the Lord, then you'll find more peace, which in turn helps you cope with life's daily stressors. If you think about it, the Spirit is a conduit of power for the Savior. When you can hear the still small voice, you can feel the Savior's enabling power lifting you up, carrying you, and providing strength to endure whatever comes your way. So learning mental health skills to help you create clarity in your thoughts is a vital foundation to your mental health. No longer will you be confused with decision-making, unfocused or overwhelmed, or tossed around by the opinions of others. And that is a great place to be mentally. Okay, the second foundation to stronger mental health is learning to receive divine help. This world is just so hard, right? There is opposition at every corner. It feels unbearable at times, and yet God says in the scriptures, He will not add more than we can bear, right? But did you know that when God says that in the scriptures, it says He will not add more than you can bear with Christ? He is saying that this life will be unbearable if we are not receiving divine help. When you receive divine help, you have access to a powerful source, the Savior, who can increase your energy levels. So think about it. When you are yoked with the Savior, you have a powerful teammate. He's working by your side, helping you get things done. Don't you think that source of power would give you more energy because he's helping you shoulder the burdens of your day? Then you are receiving divine help and receiving more energy. You are going to be working way more productively. You're going to get things done that he needs you to get done. But if you're not receiving that divine help, then you're going to feel exhausted, always behind, and wondering how you can stretch yourself any thinner. You're going to feel like you have 1,000 plates spinning all at once, and you need to have 1,000 hands to spin them all. And it will feel so daunting that you will often just get shoved into all or nothing thinking. And when you can't envision yourself getting it all done, you're going to default to doing nothing. And that's not a great place to be mentally, right? It is worth your time and effort to learn how to receive that divine help. All right, the third foundation you want for your mental health is the ability to communicate your needs and desires. Communication is so vital to any relationship, right? But it's also a very hard skill to have when you're feeling triggered in some way by another person. If you can learn to identify your needs and desires and communicate them in a way that the other person can receive them, then you'll be able to connect and improve in your relationships. The Savior has atoned for everything you and that person are trying to communicate. What you felt and what they felt, that person that you're trying to communicate with. And he can communicate to you what needs to be said and how to say it in the best way the other person can receive it. However, the problem is when you are frustrated, disappointed, or hurt by another person, that can cause the natural man to wake up and talk from a place that is not really helpful to the relationship, and even cause a greater disconnect in that relationship. The natural man will always approach a situation with boxing gloves. He's going to be ready for a fight and ready to defend. Connecting and improving relationships can't happen from that state. Nor will you be able to communicate what your needs and desires are in a way they will receive them. You will often be left feeling misunderstood, hurt, and discouraged with relationships. And that's not a great place for your mental health, right? Okay, the fourth foundation for your mental health is knowing how to process emotions to create healing. Processing emotions can be tricky for a lot of women because you not only need to be able to identify the emotion yourself, you also need to stay in your most optimal state for healing that emotion. The most optimal state for healing is in connection with the Savior. He is the connection you want to have when you're processing an emotion. He has the healing power you need and the wisdom to walk you through through that emotion towards compassion and understanding. When you can process your emotions and create healing, you can have better self-care. you will be able to take care of your body and mind in a way that it deserves every day. That is what your mental health needs, is the ability to care for you without guilt or defeat. If you don't get in that most optimal state to process your emotions, healing cannot occur. It's like breaking your arm and not getting it reset or a cast put on. That's not a great environment for your arm to heal, right? It's not going to heal correctly, and it could cause more pain later when it heals incorrectly. I see so many women trying to process and heal emotions they are feeling in their natural man state. The natural man is absolutely the wrong state to heal in. It's going to cause you more shame, guilt, and agony trying to see the world through this lens. That's a definite sabotager of your mental health, right? You've probably noticed that I keep talking about the natural man being the sabotager of your mental health and using the savior as a foundation for your mental health. And you might be wondering, how do I do that? Well, it's important to learn skills that help you do that. My favorite skill is using revelation meditations to help put the natural man to sleep and reconnect with the Savior's revelation that you need for your unique circumstances. President David O. McKay said that we pay too little attention to the value of meditation. Strengthening your mental health by using revelation meditations will help you to have that clarity in your thoughts for more peace so that you can cope with life stressors. Revelation meditations also help you receive divine help to increase energy so that you can work more productively. Revelation meditations help you communicate your needs and desires to connect and improve in relationships. And revelation meditations help you process emotions to create healing so that you can have better self-care. So if you're a faithful woman who is feeling stressed, unmotivated, confused, and emotional, you can begin strengthening your mental health in 20 minutes a day by using revelation meditations. Those help you pass through to the presence of the Lord and receive His enabling power of peace, energy, connection, and healing. Next week, starting on October 1st, I'm doing a 30 Days to Stronger Mental Health Challenge to help you fortify, strengthen, and heal your mental health for this upcoming winter. Each day of the challenge, you will have a specific meditation on a private app where you can complete to help you strengthen your mental health. You're going to receive the entire Clarity in the Chaos course with 25 unique meditations for free to use during and after the challenge, after you register for the challenge. You can even start the meditations immediately and not even wait till October 1st. The challenge is held on a private community app. And this is going to be a place to connect with other women who are facing similar life challenges to you, get your questions answered daily on the challenges, and become motivated to develop critical mental health tools, all contained in a private app away from social media distractions. So within the 30 Days to Stronger Mental Health Challenge, there will be weekly prizes given for completing the daily challenges and an ability to connect with other women who are experiencing similar life challenges as you. There's going to be prizes to help you motivate and keep your focus while you develop new and crucial habits for your mental health. And these challenges are a great way to start a new habit, right? They provide that boost that you might need to get started when you're making a change. Also, once you start the challenge, the daily repetition boosts your momentum to really strengthen your mental health as you keep going and achieving these small successes, which can help motivate you to keep those changes going. All right, if you're ready to join us to have stronger mental health through this challenge, then click the link in my show notes and you can get started with the meditations right away. Then, once you register, you can send the link to a friend that you want to do the challenge with, because challenges are so much more fun when you have a friend and a partner to do them with. All right, I hope to see you in the challenge next week. Thank you for listening to the LDS Mental Health Podcast. I hope you were able to find ways of healing, guidance, and peace. If you liked this episode, please share it with a friend who would love to start thinking in a higher and holier way as well. or hit that follow button so you don't miss out on any episodes. Also, check out the links in my show notes for other episodes you might like and links for other mental health resources on my website.